Okay.
Hello and welcome to the Playthru channel, myself Alan from the channel, and my opponent here for this evening, and a regular on our Sunday evenings anyway, Sunday afternoons or mornings elsewhere. This is Rough Swordsman Wargamer.
Hello. Hi, Jester.
And yeah, we already got Jester, so there is for the others. This is a slightly running gag here where Jester has taken umbrage at Wing Leader, and so in true British humour fashion, we've gone, right, well, we're going to play it then. and bless him for coming to watch us as well. So yeah, that completes the jollity. We will be playing Wing Leader this evening. We haven't got ourselves up in the corner yet. Sorry, I'm a little bit late on sorting that out.
Sort it out.
Yeah, I have to sort it out. Sort it out. So if you talk amongst yourselves while I sort this out. So I keep forgetting how to do this. It's really terrible. There we go, and
Don't forget to take the Wing Leader cover from the middle of the screen.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Always do have that problem. And just where are we?
Excuse me, froggy tonight. If you're in the chat, say hi. Let us know you're here. So that'll be good. And I know nothing about this game.
Yes.
So he's teaching me. He's just sort of got me off the street, dragged me into a room, and said, "Right, I'm going to teach you Wing Leader." So it should be fun. It should be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, we're not coming up, so I'm just going to do this again.
It's always a few faffy when we do these streams.
Yeah. So that's correct.
Hi, Stephen. Yeah, we've got lots of crap on the side of it there.
Yep. So give me a second.
Eat Cafe, hi.
There we go. Just drink it in. So sorry about the impromptu messing about, but I want to get everything sorted for everybody. So let's do that. Let's chuck us over in the corner. So yeah, some little bit of OBS work there, but hopefully everybody should be able to see us now.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
Well,
anything anything else that's a problem, it's your problem, not mine. Probably not. No, it's still my problem. Right. Okay, Wing Leader. Right, we're playing a scenario from what's known as Wing LeaderOrigins, which is an expansion to a Wing Leader Victories. So there's two Wing Leader games, Victories and Supremacy. It's World War II flight squadron level combat game from GMT. Victories is early war and Supremacy is late war. We're in early war. In fact, we're so early we're not even actually in the war. We're actually in the Spanish Civil War. And I think, just checking the scenario itself, we are actually 1938, yes. So February 1938 in Spain. And it's the Nationalists versus the Republicans. But the Republicans, of course, have got Soviet aircraft, and Nationalists have got German aircraft, but these, I believe, are meant to be actual German pilots in this scenario. It's the actual Condor Legion, so they're not actually Spanish pilots.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
And hi, Blast Pop's here, and he says it will move along once you get it trucks along once you get a good understanding of the game. Blast Pop is teaching me. He's teaching me. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think the good thing about this scenario is that it misses out a lot of stuff. There's no bombing in this. It's fairly just the sort of basic game. We've got aircraft which aren't incredibly sophisticated, and also the way this scenario works is also it's pretty good for learning, I think. And in fact, Ruff's going to be doing most of the stuff. I'm just going to be suffering in well, likely.
So I'm playing.
So on the screen there you'll see two. Oh, actually, that should be a squadron. It's actually it's coming out as a flight. So you get the counter represents a squadron if there's 2 aircraft in it, and a flight if there's 1. That should be a squadron. I don't know why it's. Why did it?
Well, both squadrons, are they?
Yeah, they're both meant to be squadrons, indeed. But just remember they're squadrons. I'm not sure how we change it, because I'm sure it was squadron before. Hang on, let me. No, it's definitely think it's a squadron. Okay, never mind. So that's actually a squadron, even though it doesn't look like it. Just bear with us. Two squadrons there, and each of these types of aircraft have an air data card. So I'm going to bring that in, and we're looking for. Here we go. This is the air data card for the ME109B. Now I know it says D1, but on the back you see A and B is the same, and the C are the same as the D. So effectively it covers all the early versions. And it has a little table. They all have little tables, and we have an altitude, speed, turn, climb, and bomb. There's no bomb, so that's fine. Speed and turn is it's not actually the speed and the turn on the board. It's all about combat. So speed is more a function of what the aircraft is doing, as opposed to, i.e. their role that they've been set, rather than how speedy they are in reality. So the speed and the turn comes in on comparison when you're actually doing a dogfight. Or, well, not just a dogfight. Dogfights are a particular thing in this game, but any combat at all.
Blue, I'm looking at the BF-109D Dora. Yeah. Yeah,
that's right. So if you look, there's a back on their data card. So these are physically big, sort of chunky cards. And on the back it says A, B, and C is the same as D. So we're using this as your B. Even though yours are B, effectively the D is the information we need. So we're okay with that. We're running with it. Yeah.
Yeah, just having a look at it now.
Sure. Yeah. Three areas down the bottom. Firepower 0, so that's not very good firepower. And that's basically a modifier when you hit, to see how, if you actually do some damage. Protection is 3. Protection is how tough your aircraft are taking damage, whether it shrugs it off or not. And the bomb sight is a type of bomb sight, but we're not bombing this time, so we can ignore that. And that's really it. That's all we. There's a 1 VP on the top, so if one of these aircraft get knocked out, then it's a victory point. Each of these squadrons have 8 aircraft in them, and you mark on what's known as a wing display with what you any losses on the counter. The counter itself doesn't change until you actually wipe out everybody. Let's look at these displays. So we'll look at yours. Ruff, let's bring it in. So here's your 2 squadrons, A and B. So I've populated everything already. So they're on a mission called Intercept. Intercept means that you are coming on the board and you are heading to a particular space because you've been told, or you think that there's some enemy there. And if you get there and you still can't see any enemy, then you kind of hang around hoping that some enemy will come around. But other than that, you're kind of free and easy what you do. They are veteran, so they get a lot some combat bonuses. Because they are veterans, you have 3 types. You have green, normal, or veteran squadrons. Also, A squadron. It doesn't have to be in A, but I'll just put him in A. Could be in B. He has what's known as an experter, which is an ace. Also, he's got a little kind of seagull symbol next to him, which means he's a wing leader. So he's the leader of the wing, i.e. the two squadrons together. They each have a tally marker, which will be placed on targets that you see. Tallying is all about spotting an enemy. And then there's a rigid doctrine. So both sides are using rigid doctrine at the moment. It's not the air tactics haven't really been aren't really going through. They're going through an evolution, and they haven't really got there in the Second World War yet. So you're restricted on certain things that you have to do with rigid doctrine. If we look at my guys,
what colour are you?
I'm red.
Red.
Republican, okay. Soviet, that kind of thing.
Righto.
So if we look at my guys here.
To get the chart up myself, it doesn't come up on my display on Vassal. So
okay, right. So I've got an A, B, and C, which are the three fighters I've got. I've got 3 I-16s. If we look at those, our data cards, let's have a find our I-16 Type 5s, the Ishaks. Looks very similar actually. In fact, the protection is slightly better. 3-4 is kind of 3.5, it's the speed and turn and climb are very similar. Altitude is different though. I won't go back and compare them, but essentially my altitude, I'm more low level than the ME109s, and they get an advantage in that sort of gap on altitude where I am. That's my Ishak. If I go to the bombers are SBs, medium bombers. They also have speed, turn, and climb. They also have a bomb value. It's not relevant for the scenario. They are bombers. They are going to bomb, but they're not going to bomb on the board. They're actually going to try and get off the board to get to where they're going to be doing bombing. So they have bombs, but they won't be using them. They have the same firepower, protection, and bomb sight. Again, bomb sight's not relevant here. They also have a defense. Now, defense is, if you like, a defense against being attacked by fighters. So, firepower, as far as them firing at something, attacking something. If they're not bombing, usually bombers don't attack anything. But if they are attacked as their bombers, they will using their defense value instead. But that's also a 0. So everybody's a bit rubbish here. Those are the two squadron types of aircraft. As you can see on my A, B, and C here, these are my 3 fighters, but B and C are both green. So the main guy, the A is normal, the other 2 are green. Bombers, they're not green or veteran; they're just standard. We have as the second counter, we have our role in the game. So the fighters are doing a sweep. A sweep is pretty much you start at one end of the board, or wherever you're meant to start, and you go all the way across to the other end of the board and try and spot enemy, and just keep going. So they're not quite escort. Sweep is different from escort. Sweeps don't need bombers there. It's just a fighter sweep, trying to clear away any enemy. And of course the bombers are doing bombing, and they actually have a bomb load which affects their speed and their turn ratings while they have the bombs, which they will have for this game. And again, they've got rigid doctrine as well. Note the bombers don't have tallies. Only the fighters have tallies. So bombers will just, in this game, they're kind of sitting ducks. They just keep going as long as they can. They don't really do anything different. They don't dogfight or anything like that. They're just trying to survive in this. So that's our aircraft. They're starting in particular positions where the scenario says they should start. If I zoom out, you can see a bit more of the board, and the dark green bit at the bottom is the ground. So we have an altitude up the side. It's in white. It's not very easy to say. It starts at 0 and goes up and up and up as we go up. We also have a sun position. The sun is known as left upper, so it's coming from sort of this area of the board in. It's in this corner, if you like. and as I say, the altitude comes along, and we have distance across the bottom, and so we have this grid that we work in. No hexes with this game. It's all squarey, rectangle-y things. Last couple of counters you can see there are what's called a Vector A and Vector B, and they're linked to the German fighters. Now, I have just volunteered to put them there. They can be moved. You can put them where you like, really. What they are is they're the position that those fighters have told to go to find some people, some enemy. Okay, so this is their intercept point. Head to there and beat stuff up. They don't have to be in those hexes. Rough, you can move them. What happens is you will move until you spot something. You will move every turn towards those spots, those hexes. When you get there, you will. If you still don't see anything, you will start circling, and you'll just hang around in there waiting for something to appear because you've been told to get there. Okay. Don't worry, you will spot things.
Sorry, you froze there for a bit there for me. I don't know if that was for everybody else. I didn't hear a word you said.
Did you not? Oh, okay.
No, you said you can move those vectors.
So you can put those vectors wherever you like on the board.
Right.
Those two positions are quite good. You will head your aircraft. You don't until you spot an enemy. You have no choice of where you move. You will move towards those counters. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you get to those counters and you still haven't spotted anybody, you will circle on that, effectively stick in that square, and stay there until you do find something. Okay, so it's relevant where they go, but you can put them where you are. I've just volunteered to put them in those two spaces.
Fine.
You can. Okay.
But I can see you, but I can't see you.
You can't see. So seeing is all about tallying. So those little tally counters. So until you get to place a tally counter on one of my units, you can't see anything. There is a second sort of level, a more amorphous level, which is known as alertness. So your squadrons are alerted, as in you know that something is out there and you're on the watch. My guys are all unalerted, as in they have no clue whether something's out there or not. They won't necessarily be looking in the right direction. And you will become alert if you're attacked or you spot something, but you are already alerted. There's always two sides in Wing Leader in the game. One is the raider and one is the defender. I'm the raider, and Rough, you are the defender. On things like initiative, if raiders effectively go first, but that's not usually a deciding factor. It's more about board position and your role of your aircraft in the game. Okay. So we've actually done the first part of the sequence of play. If we show up the sequence of play here, so we have done the setup phase.
It's got some other people join us.
Oh wow! We've got a bit of an audience here.
Jim Pickle Yak, my favourite name there. Love that name.
Yeah. Yes. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I was rattling away, telling Ruff how to play this game, and completely ignored the chat. So nice to see you all. Good to see you all. It's not. I wouldn't say this is a completely well planned go at Wing Leader. It's kind of an introduction for Ruff. Ruff hasn't played it before, but we'll just sort of muddle through it if you like.
Yeah.
But glad to see you all. And Carl, yes, I have. Ruff reminded me to take the Lego away so you can actually see what's going on. Indeed, I'll never ever live that down. In fact, I think I'll put it on my gravestone. Right, and so we're ready to go. And of course, we've got Jester here so that he can complain how bad the game is in his next war room with Ruff, I think. So let's try and make it as good as possible. He's got nothing to complain about.
I'm.
You're excited? Okay. We've done setup phase with the exception of placing your vector markers, but don't worry about placing it quite yet. So just running through the sequence of play really quick. First thing is tally phase. Tally phase, it's actually fairly straightforward. you nominate with your aircraft an enemy to try and spot. You then roll a dice, and if your dice with a few modifiers is greater than the die roll, then you have tallied something. So the further away it is, up to 6, it's easier to spot. Okay, so you do that. When you do that, you effectively put your tally marker onto the board on the enemy that you've actually spotted. You'll only spot one at a time. You won't be tallying more than one at a time. Okay. Raider player first, so I get to do that first. It's not really that critical. It's just the fact that you'll see who I tally and whether I tally before you do. So it's a little bit of an advantage to go second here. Unalerted squadrons are alerted if warned by radio. I don't believe anybody's got radios in this scenario, so that doesn't happen. Then wing leaders can issue orders. I don't think you'll probably need to in this area. I won't bother covering that. Then we go to the movement phase, and squadrons move. Now, they move in a particular order, and it's actually on the top of the notes section, which is the second column here, which is the move order is 1, dogfights. Dogfights is actually a counter in the game, and so you sit it over a couple of squadrons or more, all fighting it out in a space, and they actually move together. Then you have the escorts, then you have the bombers, then unalerted fighters in initiative order, and then alerted fighters in initiative order. So yours are all alerted, mine are unalerted. So I will move before you do, you get to see where I move. Now, interesting thing is this bit at the bottom, which is tallying squadrons move after their targets. So, say you tally one of my bombers will move third in the hierarchy. As soon as the bomber you tallied moves, whoever tallied him gets to move.
Tallying means spotted, yes?
Yeah, spotting, yeah. Tally, yeah, right. yeah, indeed. So, if you tallied a squadron, if they move, you get to move immediately afterwards. Okay, and there can be things like chains in tally. So you spot one of my aircraft, but one of my aircraft spot you, but one of your other aircraft spot me, and then one of my aircraft spot you, and so one squadron could move, and then there's a whole cascade of movement straight after that because of all the tallies that are going on. Okay. Right. So initiative in this, it's not really a dice roll. So if that move order doesn't separate absolutely everybody, you then go to the initiative roll, which is who's at the lowest altitude, and then same altitude, lowest speed, and then altitude, speed the same, roll a dice. Okay, to see who moves first. So it usually goes from the bottom of the board upwards. It's lowest altitude first. So having altitude on your opponent is an advantage anyway. Never mind the tallies and alerts as well. So you're higher than me. You're also alerted, so you've got lots and lots of you've got lots of abilities to go before me. Okay. Right. There's an advantage for attacking out of the sun. Of course, which talks about here, and there's dogfights. Dogfights is a semi-voluntary thing when once you've had combat, whether you become part of a dogfight. You create a dogfight out of an attack, and sometimes it's involuntary, sometimes it's voluntary. It depends on the results of the combat. Okay. Now, just going through movement. Movement is, as I said, it's not about the speed of the aircraft. It's about its role. Just going through it, I just want to make sure I get this right. It might not be on the tables, actually. It might. There we go, movement points. Yes, it is. It's down the bottom here, 8.2. Bombers have 2 movement points. Unalerted fighters have 2 movement points. So I've got 2 movement points that all my aircraft have. Alerted fighters have 3. Okay. You can get an extra 1 if you're diving during your move. That's a way to get an extra movement point, and that's it. Movement costs 1 MP per square. To drop is half a movement point. So if you drop a square downwards, it's only half a movement point. Remember, if you're diving, you get +1 as well. It's a movement point to flip so that you're facing the other way, and 1 MP to circle, and luft breeze we won't really worry about, and that. So basically, it's 1 to do anything, except for half to go into a screaming dive. Okay. If you want to go to a higher square, if you want to climb, then you look at the climb value. Okay. So go back to our data cards. If I pull that up in our SB, so its climb value, depending on its altitude, if it wants to climb, then it uses that number of movement points. An interesting one is S. S is like a half. So it takes 2 moves to climb. It's so slow. It's not even a whole move. It's kind of it takes 2 moves to actually do the climb. And you add that. If you want to climb again, it's 2 movement points. Doesn't matter who you are. It's an extra 2 movement points. So it's difficult to really skyrocket in this game, of course, especially with these type of aircraft. To attack, you pretty much enter the square of an aircraft you tallied. So if you haven't tallied anything, even though you're in the same square, you can't fight. You haven't seen each other. You kind of missed each other.
What are the squares? What sort of scale is this? Do you know what each square is?
It's a good question. I'd have to look it up.
Don't worry.
So usually, as I say, each of these counters are 8 aircraft. So it's a decent amount of airspace. Actually.
Yeah.
So when you're fighting like a kind of dogfight, etc. But you're always in one square. It doesn't. Everything is done inside the square rather than across multiple squares. You don't fire from one square to another. It's always inside that square. So it's a decent amount. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to grab the look and look it out.
You can't attack anybody you haven't tallied. So there must mean there is a good deal of space in each of those squares.
Indeed.
You see them. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So so the sequence of play is tally, move, combat, and then there's an administration phase, which you can do a thing called roll to escape. Escape is basically get off the board, and usually when you're in trouble, and you can change vectors in the administration phase if you're under GCI control, but I don't think these guys are.
Just GCI control then.
Ground control intercept. So this is ground control telling you what to do. These guys don't have any GCI in this scenario, so you can't actually. I don't think you can't actually move your vectors. Yeah, you won't be able to do it. Things like flak barrage markers you put in. So basically, in the administration phase, there'll be a roll to escape or not, and that's again, it's a kind of a D6 how far away you are from the enemy if you get to skedaddle off the board. However, in this game, and this prompts an idea of how this scenario is going to go, is that there's a few special rules on my SB bombers. And the I-16s. So particularly with the SB bombers, if you attack any one of my bombers, they will immediately what's known as break. And break is a morale state, which is the worst morale state, and they will immediately turn around and try and go home. The turn after, all my fighters will do exactly the same thing. They will continue their sweep. They won't break. They'll effectively sweep in reverse. So they'll sweep off the board. They'll sweep backwards rather than forwards, okay? Because they're all a bit worried about the ME-109s coming in. The other thing is the SB squadrons can't roll for escape. The only way they can get off the board is to actually move off the board. So that you're effectively got free hacks at them until you can't hack them anymore and they've moved off. All right, so they can't roll to escape. The fighters can, but the bombers can't. Okay, so that gives you a few pointers on how this is going to go. So I know that was a lot, and Blastbot says equal to or greater. That's true, equal to or greater, not greater for tallying. Equal to or greater is correct. You're right there. So I won't go into the combat until we do one, because combat is combat. So you want to come in, you want to fight, and then we'll go through it. Okay. Yep. And what you imagine is good in this game is what you would imagine is good for air combat. So diving on something is good. Coming out of the sun is good. If you're alerted and they're unalerted, it's good. If they haven't tallied you, it's good. That kind of thing. The only thing I would warn against is with the bombers, what you don't want to do is come up right behind them. So enter from the hex behind them, because then their defense value goes up by 2 and can get a bit nasty. So you don't want to, you want to kind of slash attack them rather than sort of come in from behind and sort of loiter behind firing into them, because they'll fire back at you. So yeah, that's just a bit of advice there anyway.
Right.
All right. So let's go. So the first thing you need to do is you need to set your vector markers where you want them to go.
Now, my main objective is to
Kill
down
things.
those.
You want to kill everything.
Oh, everything. Okay.
Well, you won't be able to kill everything, but kill as much as you can. Yeah, you're
Okay.
it's very straightforward in this game. And to be honest, most of the scenarios are like that. Everybody's just trying to kill each other. If you've actually got a proper bombing run, you're trying to bomb something. But certainly, as fighters go, you're just trying to kill things and not be killed and not break.
Okay. So I can only move from left to right.
At the moment, you're going left to right. Yes, so your vectors will be somewhere to the right of you. Yes.
Yeah. So and I can move. What was it? Movement points. I've got 3 movement points. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do movement there. It's just placing the vectors. So I mean, you can move them a couple of hexes further, a couple of squares further on.
Is that right? If I get to that vector, I've got to stop.
Yeah, you will circle then to spot them.
How do I move further on?
You won't. You'll just hang about until you spot something. In this game, normally a ground control intercept will tell you, hang on, no, the guys are over there. Right. We can spot them, so you need to head over here. But this is effectively completely freeform. You guys were looking at the scenario. You guys were in the air, and you happened to come across some Republican bombers with a fighter sweep, and
right.
the Republicans blundered into these nationalists. I think the nationalists were actually doing a different job, and this just happened to spot this formation.
Okay. Well, I might as well keep them there then.
You happy? I'd say you can move them a couple of spaces forward. I didn't really think about it when I put them on, so I probably one space further, something like that. It's quite good.
Yeah.
You could think about climbing, although you probably don't have a lot of space to climb. You could climb a bit higher, so therefore you'll get, certainly with the guy in J8A, if you get him a bit higher, it will be great, because I won't be climbing. I'll just be coming straight as a die. All those aircraft will just blunder forward.
Now, when you climb, do you climb upwards or diagonally?
Either. Either.
So we'll. So I'll move. Actually, I'll kind of go up one for each flight.
So you push the vectors up one square, one altitude. Yeah. Okay. What you don't want to be is too high, such that you fail to tally me because I'm too low. Because diagonal and straight are, you can move diagonally, you can tally diagonally in this game. It's not a problem.
Right.
Okay.
That would be okay if this moves here, for instance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't be too high.
No. You have to keep them in the hex I put them. That's the start of the scenario. So your vectors can be where you like, but your initial position is where I put you.
So that's there, yeah?
Yeah.
That's where I started.
Yeah.
So if I want to climb, I just move up one, yeah?
You would do in your moving phase. Interesting thing that Michael say, hiya Michael, said that actually if you want to go for the bombers, you probably don't want to climb because you might miss the bombers.
I'm going after the bomber. A fighter would go after the bombers. The
Yeah.
fighters are there.
So maybe you want to drop a bit then. Yeah. Maybe you don't want to climb.
No, you're saying kill everything, but instinctively, fighter. I would, if I was a fighter.
Yeah. So the thing that makes me run away is for you to attack a bomber. So if you attack the fighters and you will just fight, and the bombers will just keep going. Yeah. And they won't turn around. Okay.
So I need to.
You're happy there.
Happy there, and just move forward then. When I do it.
Well, yeah. In a minute. So we've done the setup. So turn 1, there is a turn marker, which actually.
Hold on.
Sorry.
I need to reset these. They've got moved on them.
Oh yeah, just hit the. There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. So there is a turn marker, which I haven't put. There is a phase turn 1 phase thing here. So we got on to turn 1 tally phase. So I go first. Now I've got. So my fighters can't see your fighters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I might be able to. Yeah, my A might be able to spot your B. There are a couple of modifiers on that. Just remember what they are. Okay. My A is not green, so that's all right. Target is not quite in the sun. Yeah, so there's no modifier. So on a 6, my A will spot your B. Okay, so I roll the dice for that. 1d6. 4. Nope, didn't see him. And you can only try once, so you can't go, okay, I'll try and spot him over there. The other guys have no chance. My bomber here, bomber Z. 1, 2, 3.
Where's the die?
The die is just the one of the buttons on the top of the vassal. So there's a 1d6 and there's a 2d6.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So I rolled the 4.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I saw it come up.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So bomber Z could spot B. It's 4. However, you are in the sun, so that's a -1. So I got -1 on the dice. I'm not green. That should be it. So, actually, no. Sorry, I don't tally you. I'm a bomber. Forget that. It's over to you.
Okay. So first thing is.
So who do you want to look at? So I select A or B and say I want to tally this person.
A will try to tally Z.
A tries to tally Z. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So you need a 5 or more in a dice. However, you've got some bonuses here. So this target is in a formation of 3 or more squadrons, and a line of sight exists to at least 3 squadrons in the formation. Okay, so basically it's the front of a big bomber stream. So you have a +2 on the dice to spot him, because you're actually not just spotting him; you're spotting that whole formation. Yeah.
Clump of aircraft below me. Yes.
Yeah. You also are a veteran. If you remember from the wing display, so you get a +1 as well. So you're actually on +3 at the moment to spot Z, but you need a 5 or more.
5 more with a +3.
Yeah,
right.
So that'll do.
Oh yeah, 3, 5.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So
okay, so yeah, anything but a 1.
Yeah.
It looks like a long way, but the advantages you have is that there's a big stack of bombers, and you're used to doing this. So you from your wing display, blue WD. If you click on blue WD,
yep, got that.
So you need to take your tally A marker and just put it on bomber Z. Just plonk it on top or next to it or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Now, what do you want to do with B?
I suppose try and spot X.
Spotting X. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's no point in double tallying.
You can, but that just means that both of you will go for the same aircraft. You will ignore all the other aircraft. So it's usually better to split. Hethwell, good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah. So probably worth going for X. Yeah, sounds good.
Okie doke. So that's again +3.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a +3 on the dice.
Yes.
Easy. And so you take
Easy.
your tally marker and put it on X.
On X. So far, so good.
Yeah, and that's the tally phase. All done. So next up is our movement phase. So squadrons move. In the order, so the first thing that moves is dogfights. There are no dogfights. Then escorts. No. There are no escorts. 3 bombers. So my bombers move forward 2 movement points. So all they do is they just blunder along. So it moves 1, 2. Because he's got tally A on him, your fighter can now move.
Oh.
Your fighter moves now.
Right. So
you are alerted. So you have 3 movement points. If you dive, you can add a movement point.
Well, I need to dive, don't I? So,
yeah. Now, the sun is behind you at the moment. So if you did a dive straight down the diagonal, straight into that hex, that would be 3 movement points.
That's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what you do is you actually orient your aircraft to the direction you actually travelled. So if I do that for you, you're actually coming in like that.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, like that. Okay. Now, as you can see, these things can get a little bit busy. We do have what's known as battle displays. So we effectively move all the markers off when we're actually doing the combat, but that's fine for it now. Okay, so the next person to go is another bomber. So this will be X moving along. 1, 2. And then, of course, you've got a tally for B. So B can do what it likes as well.
3. Now, I'm not coming in sort of diagonally.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come in 1.
Yeah.
2.
Then you want to probably dive vertically for 3.
3.
No, yeah, and you need to reorient yourself. You're coming down like that for 3.
Oh,
Then you'll want to move to N5 for your 4. Because that's actually not 3, that's actually half a point. Because if you're diving vertically, it's half a point. But you've got 4 movement points because you've dived. And in fact, what I will do is I will put a little dive marker on you.
Do I orientate myself diagonally now?
Yes, because how you moved into the square.
Yeah. Like that, right.
Okay, great. Now, both of you guys have moved, so it's all down to me, but my bomber goes next. So Y moves 2. Then it's my fighters. Now, my fighters can't see you. They didn't see you. So what will happen is your vector markers go now. Because you've spotted somebody, your vector doesn't matter anymore. Okay, so
we're going to go wherever they go. Yeah.
Yeah, just remove them. They actually have a tally on the back in the vassal in the vassal mod, but you can just remove them now. So my guys will just go forward. Now they're unalerted, so they get 2 movement points as well. So they'll just go 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. And that's it. That's my move. I can't do anything. You just have to you have to follow the job, if you like, which is I'm sweeping at that altitude from right to left, and that's what I'm doing. And I don't know what the chaos below me is about to break out. I have no idea that's going on. All right.
Yeah, so you haven't seen me. You're just flying.
No, I haven't seen. I haven't tallied you. If you don't tally someone, you can't see. You didn't see them. All right. Also, I don't have any radio, so I can't even alert my fighters. So the bombers would go, "Oh my God, there's something coming. There's something attacking me." Scream it down the radio, and the fighters would hear. Actually, there are no radios, so unless I see you, I've got no clue you're there, and they can't even tell me.
No, that's bad news.
It is bad. Yeah, I said this is a very good learning scenario, I think. Anyway, let's zoom in a little bit because we've now got things concentrated here. just for everybody to see. So we've done the movement phase. We go on to the combat phase. So combat phase is you do direct fire flak attacks. There are no flak, so forget that. Resolve bombing attacks. There is no bombing, so that's done. Resolve air combat. The order is determined by the raider. So I say which combat happens first, and I will say we'll do the front one. We'll do Z first. Okay. So we do the air combat. Right. So this now we take our battle display. So you click on battle display.
You're cracking up.
Am I cracking up?
Alan, you're cracking
Hello?
up. I don't know if it's just me or it's everyone, but I'm missing every other word.
Oh right.
Yeah. Well, you were, but
oh, it's a bit better now, is it?
Every so often, I'm losing you.
Okay. Apologies about that. Oh. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
If anybody can just sort of verify who's at fault here. Is it me dropping out, or is it just Ruff's hearing?
My dodgy toaster of a computer. Right.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, so if you heard it, we get our battle display out, and all the battle display is just somewhere to put the counters. Right. So traditionally what you do is you move everything up there, and then you kind of put them, or I like to, you kind of put them in a, it looks like what the combat is. Okay, so if I take my SB with its tally, oh damn, I haven't done this on Vassal before. I usually and your BF 109, so you're sort of coming at me like that. Okay, so that's our battle we're going to do, and you can put a battle marker on, but we kind of know where we are here. So usually you put a battle marker in. Oops, take that dive, put it back up there.
Out there, is it?
Yeah. So what you can do is you can put in a battle able, so you can put that marker. Oh, put that marker. Try it again. There we go. That marker is just to denote where the hell we were. It's very good on the physical game, especially when it gets quite busy in these scenarios, and you kind of, where the hell was I? Kind of things are very, very useful. We also have a battle baker, so we can also take these guys. Oops, no, not him. And we can put them in baker. So we've got the two combats here, and we just use the battle display for now on. Okay. So you have your dive marker, and I have your tally marker. Okay, this is not going to be a good combat for me. Right. So the first thing we do is we find out what kind of combat it is, and as you're attacking me, the attacker gets to decide what it is. So you want to either be a speed or a turn combat. So looking at your air data card, so if you have a look at your
hold on,
your BF 109 air data card.
Yep, old Dora. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are now at altitude 5. So you look on a 3 to 9 chart, and you can see your speed or your turn is a 4. Now you get to choose whether you're going to use speed or turn. Firstly, turn will be to my advantage a little bit, and with speed you dived, so that number is +1. So your speed now is 5. So you can declare that it is a speed combat, and the idea is that you're coming straight at me, straight through me, and keep on going, kind of thing, rather than kind of maneuver around me, kind of thing. Yeah.
That's the turn one, is it?
Yeah, that's turn. If you're turning, then you're kind of maneuvering around the opponent. As speed, you're just coming in, all guns blazing, and then buggering off.
I think that sounds good to me.
Yeah, use speed. In fact, most of the time you tend to use speed in most scenarios, in my experience anyway. Right, so you've got a speed of 5. Now looking at the air combat table, Just looking at what I've got. So I'm forced to use my speed. So looking at my air data card is an SB. So between 3 and 17 altitude, I have a speed of 3. However, I have some bombs on board, which means that's a -1. So I actually have a speed of 2 at the moment. So it's currently 5 to 2. Okay.
2. Yep.
However, this is going to this may vary on there. There's some modifiers here, so we'll need to go through them. So let's have a quick look at the chart on this.
It's on the air combat
table. Yeah. So let's get that in the middle of the screen. So there's some speed and turn value basics, and then there's for the combat. Okay. So we've already worked out the bomb load. So I've got a -1. You're on a dive, so you've already got +1. So you've kind of done the basic ones already.
Okay.
Then you have a look at other things here. So, for example, so if you have an additional fighter squadron or a flight attacking, you get a +1. So if you have two squadrons attacking, you don't attack twice. You attack once with a +1. So that's why it's not usually a good idea to just bunch everybody together. You are veteran, so you get +1.
Where are you seeing this?
So at the top of the air combat table, there are 2 loads of modifiers: basic turn and speed values, and combat speed and turn values.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, got it. Yeah.
So
thanks.
yeah, we've done the basic speed ones. That was the dive. You're the dive. I've got the bomb load, so it's a +1 and a -1.
Yeah.
The combat speed, it's only 1 squadron, so we ignore the first one. It says squadron is veteran +1. You are veteran, so you get a +1. So you're now on a 6.
Right. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Squadron is green. No, neither of us are green. Unit is a flight, not a squadron. No, you're a squadron. I'm a squadron, so that's fine.
Okay.
Is it disrupted or broken? So that's a morale state. Neither of us are that, so that's fine. Squadron is defending using rigid doctrine. Yes. So I get a -1. So I'm down to a 1. And it's a single aircraft unit. No, it's not. So that's it. There's an extra thing called edge ability, which isn't relevant here. That's when an aircraft is kind of has a half. It's like slightly better than one value, but not as good as the other value. It gives you an extra capability, but it's not relevant here. So we then look at the combat differential. So you are 6, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, and I am 1. So that is a difference of 5. So the combat differential, you're +5, and I'm -5. So we're actually off the chart. So we just stick on the 4. All right. So we both roll, but you're rolling on the +4 table. I'm rolling on the -4 table. Okay. Right. So any dice roll modifiers. So this is not to your speed. This is now to the actual dice roll. Is it a head-on combat? No, it's not. Is the defender evading? Interesting. Should I evade? Yeah, I'm not sure I can actually. As a bomber, I don't think bombers can evade. Anyway, I'll say I won't. Attacker bounces defender. Now, bouncing is a specific thing. So, I am unalerted, and you're coming out of the sun. So, I think I am bounced. So, you will get a +1 on the dice.
Right.
Do you have an experter? So, is this the squadron that has your wing leader experter, your ace? We are talking about A.
Yes, he's the expert. Yes.
Okay, so you get another +1 for that. So you get +2 on the dice so far. You don't have gyro gun sights, that's very much right, and there's no weather. All right. So you're on the +4 table, +2 on the dice. For the defender, it's not head on, not evading. You bounced me, so I'm -1. I don't have an expert, no gyro gun sights. My defense rating. So if you were in turning, I would have had a +2, but I don't for the defense rating. I've just got a 0, so I add nothing. So I'm on a -4 with -1 on the dice. As
and
you
I'm
see,
on with a +2.
Yes. Okay. So we both roll.
Shall I go first?
You go from, yeah. Why not? No, it's two. It's actually 2d6. It's a dice roll. It's
Sorry.
2d6. Sorry, I didn't specify. Yeah, it's
Well,
that bad. 2d6.
Oh, all right. Okay.
We should move the turn over to combat. Yes. A 7. A 7 plus
Yep.
2 is 9. So we look across the 9 and we get to a 2.
Right,
Okay.
gotcha.
I roll my dice. An 8 minus 1 is a 7, which is a dash. I didn't score any hits. You scored 2 possible hits on me. Okay.
Right.
So once that happens, we then go to a different chart,
So,
which is actually over the page on the physical game. But here we look at loss cohesion table charts. So if you look at loss cohesion react tally, yeah, you get that. Losses cohesion react tally. Yeah. So we're looking at the losses up here. So so for each hit, you roll a d6. Okay. You add your firepower, which I believe is a 0. You know, you only got a couple of pop gun machine guns at this stage with the 109s. Firepower is 0. Okay. You have an experter, so you get a +1. Again, your ace is helping you. No gyrocon sights. It's not head-on combat, and I don't have an H protection. So that's gun. That's gun. Guns in the nose, effectively. Gun turret in the nose, and a gun pod. No, that you don't have that. So effectively, you roll a d6 for each of your possible hits, and you add 1 to it, and you've got to compare to my protection. So. Yeah, so d6 and my protection. If we look at my air data card, my protection is 3-4. Okay.
So what does that mean?
So that means that if you roll, there's actually a sort of spread. So if you roll, if you don't beat my upper value, but you do beat my so if you roll a 3 or a 4 modified, there's effectively a dice roll to see. It's like a 50-50 whether it's a hit or not.
Right.
I think to be honest, I'm going to actually look that up because I haven't played this for a little while, so I'll have to just check it. Let me just think about yourselves for a second. I'm just going to get the rule book and have a quick check. I think that's what it is.
Oh, so it's me breaking up, is it? Hi, Wardrobe. Yeah, it must be me breaking up. Yes, I'm toaster of a thing. Well, this game. What do you think? I know there's some fans here. I know Hethwell likes his.
Sorry about that. Just hope you talked amongst yourselves.
There's a few fans of the game here.
Oh, there are. So, as somebody let us know.
And it looks like it was me breaking up rather than yourself.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll be sucks to you.
That's great. Oh, as long as I know.
What do we got? So has anybody let us know? No. Okay.
What's that?
For the losses check.
No, I think they're.
So if you roll less than the protection rating, or less than both ratings, no losses occurred. If the roll is greater than the protection rating, or greater than both ratings, then a loss has occurred. Okay? If the roll equals the enemy's protection rating, or one of the ratings, you place a straggler mark. That's it, yeah. So it's like a sort of you've got a cripple, effectively, because they're a bit tough to knock out of the sky because they're quite big. That's what it is. Okay, so you need to roll 2 1d6s for your loss for your shots, and you add 1 for each of them. Yeah.
Right, first one, 5 + 1, 6.
6 is greater than my 3-4, so I have 1 loss. You roll the second one.
Sorry about if you can hear the dog barking, but somebody knock on the door. 3 + 1 is 4.
4 is a straggler, so you didn't beat my protection. So I took 1 loss and 1 straggler. So that's so I'll go across to my wing display here, and this is Z. So Z has now got a straggler, oops, and a loss.
Where have you put that?
So that's on my red wing display.
Oh, right, okay.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. Okay. So so it's kind of like 1.5 losses. So if I get another straggler, then that will turn into a loss. Okay. It's sort of it's 2 halves to make a whole loss kind of thing.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. So one thing that you get to put on your... Sorry?
Losses before you're shot out the sky. How many losses do you have?
So there are 8 aircraft in each of these counters. Yours
8.
and mine. 8, yes. There's 8 to a squadron. That's what the...
So
it's something the scenario states as a value. So the
I've
counter
actually-
doesn't move. The counter doesn't change itself.
Right, so I've actually shot down one of the 8, and one of the others is now straggling behind.
Indeed, that's correct.
Right, got
That's exactly what's happened.
Right.
Okay, so one thing though that you inherit is an ammunition low marker onto your display.
Right, so where do we get that from?
So that's in the counters under markers, wing display combat. There's loads and loads of tabs on this.
Hold on. Can't seem to move that. Ah, wing, what's it called?
So go to markers, then to wing display.
Yeah, map.
Then to combat.
Combat, gotcha.
And then you should see an ammo low -1 marker blue thing.
Can I? Oh, gold, yes, right down the bottom there. Right.
Oh, really?
What is it? Is it like that?
Don't know where are you?
Hold on.
Don't know where you're putting it.
I'm putting it on my, it's B, isn't it? That's, sorry, A. So it goes there. Is that right?
That's correct. That's it. Yeah, yeah, okay. So ammunition low, so you automatically get that. When you do a combat, you will get a low marker. If you do a second combat, that will flip over to an ammo depleted marker. Now, that doesn't mean that you've actually run out of ammo. It's kind of like your pilot thinks you're getting low. So it actually is a morale modifier. Okay? So it's very difficult in this game for you to just hang around forever having fun. Okay? Because every time you fight, you will need to take a morale check. And ammo low and ammo depleted just makes it more difficult to pass that. And if you fail it, if you break, you just go home. And that's not because you're scared, not because you had the willies put up. You know, it might have been that you just run out of ammunition, or you're running out of fuel, or whatever like that. You're just like, okay, I've had enough. I'm going home.
You might be running out of ammo. Better say, I'm sorry. Let's get out of here.
Yes, yes. Okay, so you inherit that marker. The next thing we do, of course, is that morale check, and it's known as a cohesion check. So let's go back to our losses. Our losses card. The next table time is cohesion table. Okay, so depending on if you're on a fighter or a bomber, you roll on a particular table, 2 dice, and there's these modifiers. So I'll go first. Yeah. So I'm a bomber, so I'm on the second row. Sorry.
Both have to do this.
Yes. Yeah. You always have to do this. Doesn't matter if you didn't lose anything or anything. You always. Cohesion table is always done after a combat.
Okay.
So I'm a bomber, so I'm on the second column, bomber flak. Modifiers. Total of the squadron's loss markers. That's up to date, not just in the combat, but up to date. I've got 1. Okay, so I've got a -1. I'm not veteran, I'm not green. Okay. I wasn't the attacking side, if you look down at the air combat. I wasn't the attacking side. I wasn't in the Loughborough. I'm not a fighter without a radio. I haven't got low ammo, and I haven't got depleted ammo. And one thing that is good about being a bomber is you don't get those ammo markers because you've got stacks of the stuff. And there's no weather modifier. So I have basically a -1 on my dice. I got 2d6 to roll with a -1.
Okay.
So roll 2d6. I rolled a 7, which becomes a 6. If you look on a 6, cross-index with the bomber, it's a none. So I've got no change in my cohesion. Okay, I'm still happy. It doesn't look I should be, but I am still happy. Okay. So over to you. You have a slightly tougher table.
So I'm a fighter table there. So
yes. So you have no losses.
What is veteran?
Yes, you get a +1. Now note here, this is very interesting that the ace doesn't help you here. Helps you on the losses and helps you on the combat, but doesn't help you on the cohesion. It's quite interesting in the game, but veteran does. So you get a +1 for that. You were the attacking side, so you get another +1.
Right, so
don't count your low ammo marker yet, because you kind of earn it, but you do your cohesion first. And that's it. So you've got a +2 on the dice. So you've got 2d6 plus 2.
2d6 plus 2. Here we go.
Easy. 7 or more is none. So, yeah, you're happy with the whole thing.
Right.
Okay.
I think so too.
Just think so, indeed. Right, so, and that's that combat over. That's it. Right. So we can do our second one. It's pretty much identical. So I think we can probably go through exactly the same thing here. Look at our air combat table. I think we'll almost certainly end up with a +4, -4. With you having a +2 and me having a -1. There's no difference between the two. The only thing you don't have the expert, do you?
Oh, so that's...
So you don't get an extra +1 on the combat dice roll. You only get a +1. Because you bounced. You still bounce, but yeah, you're not an expert. So you got +4 table +1. I've got -4 table -1.
Shall I go?
Okay, so yeah, you go first. Go on in.
2, 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus 8.
9 is 2 again. So you got 2 hits again. And I'm on -4 -1. Nowhere near. Wasn't even pointing the guns in the right direction. So again, you've got 2 hits. We go across to the loss table.
Hold on. Gotcha. Yeah.
Go to the loss table, and again, it's exactly the same thing. You don't have the expert, so it's just a dice roll because your firepower is 0, and you're looking for 5s and 6s for losses, 3s and 4s for stragglers, and you get two 1d6 rolls.
Here's the first one.
Yep.
1.
No, didn't affect. Just some holes in the wing.
2.
No. No, unlucky. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just shook them up a bit. Right, on the cohesion table. Do you want to roll first this time?
Yes.
You're a veteran again, +1. Your attacking side +2. So 2d6 +2.
Do I not get a?
And you get an ammo marker just to remind you for next time.
Get it. So let me clone that. It's easier. Oh, get on there. Oh, for goodness sake. Right. So,
Phil, yeah, I do like the cohesion idea because you don't get this kind of invincible idea that people just strut around the sky just knocking things out, because eventually it will get you, indeed. And it's not exactly how people flew aircraft, frankly.
So,
yes, anyway, sorry.
No, that's great.
So, cohesion. 2d6 +2.
Nothing added? Or have I got...
Yeah, you got +2 for veteran and being the attacking side.
I'm just making sure I've got it. Right, okay. And that's a 2d6.
Yep.
7 + 2 is 9. We're okay.
Yeah, fine. Okay, I'm on the bomber side. I didn't take any losses. I wasn't attacking. I don't have any ammo markers there, so I'm just basically on a straight roll. So it's 2d6. A 9. I'm fine as well.
Good.
Okay. Right. So that's the combat phase over. We're then on the admin phase. Pretty much anything that will happen in the admin phase here is that you get rid of your dive markers. So they're not relevant anymore.
Okay. Checking. So we get... Okay.
Okay.
So what happens to these planes now? They go back into those respective squares.
Yeah, yeah. We put them back where they were. Yes. So let's get rid of Baker or Abel. Oh, you move B. Yep, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's turn 1.
Right. Crikey.
Okay. On to
That's
turn
good.
2. There's no setup. Tally phase. Do you want to change your tally? Actually, I go first, don't I? Let's get rid of those battle markers out of the way. I get to tally first. So only fighters tally. A will try and spot A. 1, 2, 3. However, is there anything that affects anything? I don't think there is. It's just a 3. No, that's it. It's just on a 3. So roll a d6. A 6. Yeah. Yeah. That'll do. Is it? Yes. Yes, it's great then, isn't it? Yes. So I tally you. So my A. Go to my display. My A tallies you. B is going to try and tally B. It's 1, 2. However, the squadron's green, so I get a -1. So it's kind of the same roll, really. A 2, going to a 1. He doesn't spot you. C will try and spot as well. 1, 2, 3, but he has a -1 because he's green. No. So these green guys are just not interested. So that's my tally phase. On to your tally phase. Now, you can stick with your tallies. You don't have to roll anything. Or you may want to drop a tally and try and pick somebody else up.
What is the advantage of doing that if I'm already tallying and damaging, say?
Okay, so for example, your A guy, you've been tallied by me. Now, you may want to voluntarily go, okay, I'm going to drop my tally to the bomber and I'm going to try and tally the fighter that's going to come in on my arse.
Right.
Okay, in which case there's a kind of mutual tally there. Okay?
Yeah.
Which means you can fight and you're not going to get bounced. Because you haven't, at the moment, you haven't seen me, but I've seen you.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's kind of almost a defensive thing, but there's a risk. You may fail. You may fail to tally me, in which case you're kind of stuck because you've dropped the tally to the bomber and you can't see my fighters either.
So what do I need if, for instance, I was going to tally the A fighter, where do I look up?
Okay, so yeah, so the tally roll it's actually on that losses cohesion table.
Right.
Let's get that up there. So it's just a list of modifiers, really.
Right.
So you're that's kind of in the way, isn't it? Let's move over here.
You're in a formation of 3 or more.
No, they're not actually kind of. Actually, I suppose they do count like that. Yes. Yeah, it's usually for bombers, but I suppose in this case, yeah, it would be a.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no, so it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, you get the +2 for that.
+2.
And your veteran.
We go down here. Yeah, +1, so that's +3.
Yeah, and you will need a 1, 2, 3. So you're very likely to spot me.
Oh, I need. Now, hold on. I'm going through this because you know how it works. I've got my modifiers, and I'm 1, 2, 3 away.
Yes. So you need to have 3 or more.
Right, so it's the number of spaces away.
Yes.
And right, sorry. Okay, 1d6 +3.
Yeah. So this is so you're voluntarily dropping your tally on the bomber.
Yeah.
Okay, so we take the marker off the bomber.
Yeah.
And now you roll, but you're going to get it automatically.
Sorry, I did roll.
Oh, you did roll. Sorry, I didn't see it. Whoops.
Got
Oh, it's
6.
behind my chart. Got to see. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So your tally is now on A. Okay.
Right.
I am now alerted, though, because I tallied you. So if
Yeah.
I go to my display, and that does change things as far as the turn order goes. Look at my display. So from unalert, my A flips to become alerted. But again, they
Right.
don't have any radio, so I can't tell the other guys. I can't even make that. They're still like,
Waggle your wings or something.
yeah. They probably wouldn't recognise that either. These green guys. Okay, so and B, do you want to stick with your bomber, B?
Well, yeah. So I'm going to stick with the bomber because they didn't tally me. So
No, no, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason to. No, that's great. That's good. So that's our tally phase done. So we now move on to our movement phase. So again, who goes first? It will always be. Oh, no, we don't do. You don't do dogfights with bombers. No, it's not. We haven't got any dogfights. There's no escorts. It's the bombers again. So I'm going to do front to back. So Z is going to move 1, 2. Oh, actually, no, he's not, is it? Because they're going to run for home now.
Why?
Because that's a special rule. All SB squadrons must initiate a return to base on the turn after one of them is attacked in their combat.
Right.
So he actually turns round for 1. So I think I know that's. I haven't quite got the hang of this.
I can't
Vassal.
laugh because I'm just as bad. With
Yeah,
Vassal.
I haven't quite got it. I mean, it's really good because actually in the physical game, you just pick the counter up and flip it over, and it's facing the other way. That's all the back of the counter is actually the same counter facing the other direction. So he's going flip for 1, and then going back 1. B is going to flip for 1. Oops, did I do you? I did both of us. Whoops, hang on. Wait a minute.
I can't.
Yeah, don't worry. Just leave it to me. Leave it to me.
All right.
Oh, no, I can't.
Be helpful.
Right. Let's split them up here. So he rotate, 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 and then there's a thing called reset. He moves back 1. He takes his tally marker with him. Now your B gets to move.
So he's going to move now. He will flatten out, won't he? Straighten out.
Yeah. So you're alerted fire. You've got 3 movement points. So what you tend to do now is there a way I can use the 3 movement points so that I'm coming out of the sun again?
Oh. I could go up and then come down.
Yeah. So if we look at your air data card here, so we look at the 109. So what you're at altitude 5. So altitude 5, it costs you 2 movement points to climb. So you could. The only thing is you can't climb and dive in the same turn. So yeah, you probably just want to follow. I think.
Yeah. Okay,
you probably just want to follow.
Like that.
It's coming back to me. Okay, and then
is that right?
What? Yeah, and then Y he does his rotate. Let's see if I can use a key to make this happen quickly.
Ooh.
There we go.
There we are.
Keyboard shortcuts, don't you love them? Okay.
If you know them.
Yeah, if you know them. That's right. Good. Okay. So that's the bomber's done, and the fighter who was tallied on the bomber. So once bomber's done, it's unalerted fighters. So unalerted fighters are my 2 green guys. So these guys are going to merrily carry on 1, 2, and 1, 2. Remember, next turn they're actually going to turn around and go back to base as well. That's another special rule. And then we're left with alerted fighters in initiative order. So the initiative order is lowest altitude first. So you move before me.
Right.
Okay.
So I've now got to see. I'm coming up at you now, aren't I?
Yeah.
So
That's the thing. Now you are at a disadvantage to me because I'm higher than you and I'm moving after you.
did I just? How many movement? 3.
So you have 3 movement points. Yes. Now to climb it, it's going to cost you 2 movement points.
Yeah, there's no point in climbing just one square, then, is there?
No.
I wouldn't have thought it. Maybe just come straight at you.
Well, I think. Yeah. Well, I'm way above you, so it's you
Oh,
can't
I
really
see.
you can't really get to me at the moment.
No. So I need to turn upwards, though, don't I?
Yeah, but you'll get a climb marker, which will mean your speed will be -1.
So I
So
need sort of. Oh,
as you can see in this game, altitude is real king. Is really king in this.
why is that? Why is that attached to it? And I can't. It clicks on both.
The tally marker is just, it's like a stack. So if you want to split them up, you do that. It's like your normal vassal stack idea.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I need to. Yeah, I need to do that, don't I?
Yes.
Do that. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All that stuff is for free. It only costs you a movement point if you actually flip to go completely the other direction.
Right. So I need to come up here for 2.
Yeah. And you will earn a climb marker.
I can't do anything else. I've only got 3, haven't I?
Yes, that's right. So you can't climb again because it's 2 movement points for your second climb. So all you can do is... So what you want to do...
Yeah.
Actually, thinking about it, rather than do this climb, you want to just make sure that I can't come at you out of the sun. So I can't bounce you. Well, I can't bounce you because you've tallied me, actually. So yeah, that's... Yeah. Oh no, no. Even with a tally, that doesn't matter. Yeah. So you just want to make sure that I don't get to you coming from the top left. So at the moment, I could kind of drop down on you. That's probably good enough, actually, where you are.
Yeah, you drop down on me. You're not coming out of the stun. I mean, you've got to go past me and then turn around and come back down.
Yeah, but I can do one. I need to spend 2 movement points in the sun quarter. I don't think I can do that. 1, 2. I don't think I can do that. I get a +1 for diving, don't I? Yeah, so I could do that. 1, 2. If I go 3 to L8, no, I don't get the extra point, do I?
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to work out the position you're in, whether I can come at you out of the sun. So I could move N8, M8 for 2.
Yeah.
I could dive to M7. Gets me an extra movement point and costs half a movement point. And then if I come into you, that's only 1.5 points. M8, I think M8 counts. I need to check that.
Yeah, but would a green pilot be able to do that? You know.
He's not green.
Oh,
The other 2 are green. This is the guy who does know his arse from his elbow a bit. Yeah, just let me just check that. There is a kind of diagram here. I think that's 0.6.2. Okay, 2 points in the sun arc immediately before entering it. Oh yeah, the sun arc, left upper. So Yeah, there's a kind of ready reckoner on the back of the rule book here. I'm just looking.
Right.
So if you're there, then M8 is, yeah. So M8's good enough. M8 is in the arc. So I could move N8, M8. I'm in the arc. And then M7, half a point. No, that's still not enough.
You're facing the wrong way, aren't you?
No, I'm facing the right way, but I just don't have the movement to linger enough around the sun to count. I can't just kind of just skirt it and come in. So if I go from 08 to N8 to M8, that's 2 movement points. I'm now in the sun arc. Then if I dive to M7, that's half a movement point. And then if I then dive on you, that's 1 movement. So that's 1.5 movement points. That's not enough.
Right.
I don't think, does L7... L7 does count. So if I did I did M8, then dive to L7 is 1, 2, 3, and then I'm too far away. No, I can't actually get out of the sun. I can't get the bonus on you from where you are now.
But you could, just explain that to me. If you move from 08 to N8, you'd still be facing left, yes?
Yeah, I'm still going to be facing left. Yeah. So what? So I'll give you the example of what I'm doing. So I'm going 1 movement point to N8, 1 movement point to M8. I use 2 out of my 3 movement points.
Gotcha.
I then dive. So earns me another movement point.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got 2 movement points left now. That costs a half.
All right.
And then oops, no, that's the wrong way. So I have half a point, 1.5 points. That's not 2 though.
Me, but facing me. Yeah, I got you. Right.
And I can reset it so that it's upright. That's fine. That's not a problem. It doesn't matter. But I won't get the bonus for bouncing you. I won't be able to bounce you where you are now. So that's something. Okay. Whereas where you were, I probably could, because I could come across to M8 and I just drop like a stone, and that would probably do. But it's difficult to get the out sun where people are very, very close. Can I do an undo for all of that? Yeah, there we go. So are you happy in that square? I think you probably are, because you don't want to get...
Yeah.
I think if you move on to 06, or is it Q? Yeah, 06, I might then be able to do it. Yes, I will be able to. I will be able to out of the sun you. I'll be able to bounce you at 06. You don't want to be there.
Oh, okay. So I'll stay where I am.
You stay where I am. Okay. So now the only guy left to move is my A, and I'll just do what I can. So I'll go exactly what I was going to do actually. So we'll have the 2.5, and I'll just reset myself and come in like that. Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to attack you anyway, because, well, I'm a fighter. Yeah. What the hell else am I supposed to do? Okay, so this might be a good fight here. And that's the movement phase. So on to the combat phase. We'll do the fighters first, because I'm the raider, I get to decide. So let's get our little able marker, battle display. Move them up there. And baker marker for these guys. So you kind of like that. Let's separate these, shall we? So we're like, and yeah, so that's the orientation of the combat at the moment. Right. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Okay. So so we're doing able first. So let's have a look at our air combat table. So I'm attacking you, so I get to decide whether it's a speed or turn combat. I'm going to make it a speed because you climbed. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're looking at air data cards. Your Dora is, or your B, whatever they call it, Bertha or whatever, I suppose. We're at 6, aren't we? We're at we're at altitude 6. So your speed is a 4, -1 for the climb.
3. Okay.
Okay. My guy, my I-16, 3 to 7 is a 4. And I dived. Actually, I forgot to put the marker on, didn't I? I dived. So I'm actually a 5.
Right.
So at the moment, I'm on +2, you're on -2. Okay, no bombing, there's no bomb loads or anything like that. So, you're a veteran and I'm not. So you're +1. So you're back to a 4. Okay. Nobody, you're defending on rigid doctrine. So you have a -1, so you're back down to a 3. Nothing affects me at all. So it's 5 to 3. So it's +2 and -2 at the moment. Okay, so on the attacker dice roll. So my attacker, I'm not bouncing you. I don't have an expert. Nothing affects me. So I've just got a straight roll on +2.
Right.
And you have an expert. So you get a +1.
Right.
And that's it. So you're on -2 +1. I'm on +2, no modifier. Okay.
Right.
So let's roll our dice. So my +2 no modifier is a 7. It's very, very average. +2 is 1 hit.
Right.
Okay, your -2 with a +1, 2d6 is that's
6.
nothing. Okay,
Oh,
so I've got one possible loss on you.
Yeah.
I've got a firepower of 0. Everybody's got a firepower of 0. I'm not an expert. I don't have anything special, so it's just a straight roll. And your protection is 3. Okay, so a 4, 5, or 6, I'll knock one of you out the air. On a 3 is a straggler. Other than that, I missed. Okay, so roll the 1d6. A 5, got one of you.
Ugh.
So you have a loss marker on your wing display for that squadron.
Where's that? That's a marker, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll get my display out. There's lots of windows here, loads and loads of windows.
Yeah. So what is it? It is combat.
Yeah, so wing display combat. Yep, loss marker.
All right, I've got to.
It's like a orangey colour with a parachute.
Like that.
well done. Yeah, my Ashak got a loss. Yeah.
That goes. Who's that? That's A, isn't it?
That was A. Yeah. So 1 loss. Now we do our cohesion table rolls. So we're both fighters. I'll do mine first. No losses. I'm not veteran or green. I was on the attacking side. Nothing else matters. So I've got a +1. So I roll my 2 dice. People see 2 dice. Oh, 4. Okay, so that's a 1 result. So a 1 result gives me a disruption. So that's the first. It's a little purple marker. That's the first cohesion problem. Okay, you get disruption again, you become broken, and broken means that you're just going home. Okay, so
Right.
he's got one of you, and he's a bit worried about still hanging about for any revenge. Yeah. So your roll.
Right.
So you have 1 loss. You are veteran. And that's it. So this is a straight roll for you, 2d6.
2d6, so
Yeah.
I need to get 7 or more. 7.
Okay, so nothing happened to you.
Great.
It's like, okay, one of my guys is down, but yeah, okay. Whereas I'm now disrupted. Okay, not exactly what I wanted. Now we have a decision to make, and again, I'll refer back to the rulebook just so I get this right. If I can find out where I put my rulebook. Oh yeah, in here. So now we find out whether a dogfight is going to erupt. Dogfights. Okay. Okay, do we both have unbroken fighter squadrons remaining after cohesion check? Yes.
Yeah.
Do we both agree to initiate a dogfight? This basically almost kind of insulates us from the rest of things going on, and we just fight each other. Now, I probably do, because I want to keep you off the bombers. So I'm going to say I want to dogfight you. Now, you can choose to agree or not.
Well, I want to go after the bombers.
So you probably don't want to dogfight me.
I want to get away from you, get those bombers before.
If you agree, then it's a dogfight. If we don't agree, then if we both don't agree, then it definitely doesn't agree. If somebody does and somebody doesn't, then we have to check. Each player rolls a dice and adds his squadron basic speed value to the roll. Okay. So now basic speed value, I think does actually, even though it says it does actually include things like climbing and diving modifiers and whether you've got bombs or not. So the sort of left side. So at the moment, I've got a speed of 4, and I think you've got a speed of 3 because of your basic speed of 3 because of your climbing. So we both roll a dice and add that number to it. So I'll roll mine and add 4. So I've got an 8. You need to roll a dice and add 3. 2. Okay. So compare the totals. If I want, if the person who wants a dogfight is greater than or equal to the player refused, it begins. Otherwise, there is no dogfight. So I've got you in a dogfight. Okay.
Rat. Okay.
Yes, indeed. So well done me. Yeah. Right, we need a map dogfight marker. So there is a little marker that sits on top of us. Let's clear the screen a bit now. So we can put our guys back. We probably want to stack it. Let's get rid of our dive and climb markers. They're not relevant anymore. Let's get these guys back to where they were.
Okay.
So you were climbing, I was diving, and now we go and take the dogfight marker and stack it on the top.
Right.
Okay, so they're there in a dogfight. I'll just get rid of the dive and climb markers, they're not relevant now. Okay, so you chasing the bomber in Baker battle. Yeah. So yeah. So again, it's probably this horrible max table idea here, I think. Yeah. So I'm a 3 becoming a 2.
3 what speed?
I'm a 3 speed. I presume you want. You want speed because you don't want my defense rating to come in, so you want to stick with speed.
Yeah.
So you neither dived nor climbed. I have a bomb load, so I'm on -1. So you're on a 4. I'm on a 3, going to a 2. You're veteran, so 5 to 2. And I'm defending rigid doctrine, so I'm a 1. So 5 to 1. So it's +4, -4. Yeah, it's a maximum table. There's no bouncing now.
No.
This guy doesn't have the expert, so I think it's just a roll for each of us. +4, -4. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, that's 2d6, isn't it? 7.
7. So
2.
7. You've got two possible hits, and I'm on -4 with no modifier. Oh, an 11. 1. Wow.
You're taking the Mickey
I
now.
am. Yeah. God,
Your
yes.
tail gunner. It's your tail gunner.
Yeah, my tail gunner's done very well there. Right, so losses. I've got a 3/4 protection. I think you're just on a straight roll. You've got 0 firepower. So straight roll, and I'm a 3/4. So you need to get a 5 or a 6 on your 2 rolls.
5 or a 6. Here we go. First roll. 2.
That's another miss. Not very good, this guy. He's missed 3 times now. And again.
Again, yeah.
Holy cow. Now I'm going to fire at you. You're on a protection of 3. No modifier. Oh, there you go. That's just desserts. I just knocked one of you guys out. Well done, tail gunner. So you get a loss.
Copy that.
And we need to do our cohesion.
What have we got here? Oh, don't count the loss marker I just got, no?
No. Just a reminder on your... I don't think it was relevant. I think we missed it out that your A, BF1 and OB, should have had an extra -1 for the ammo. But you rolled a 7, didn't you?
Yeah.
So it would have been a 6. So you would be disrupted. Your A is disrupted. We forgot about, and then you flip it over to depleted. So we look on your wing display.
Hold on. Let me just. 4, 6. Why is that?
So you had ammo, you had an ammo low marker already.
That's -1, so I threw a 6.
So you threw a 6. 6 on the fighter table for cohesion is a 1. So that's one state.
Oh, right. Okay,
yeah?
gotcha.
Yeah, so a 7 was none, a 6 is 1. So the first morale state is disrupted, so you get a little purpley marker saying disrupted. It's kind of a modifier, and it just means you're on half weight of being broken.
Oh, great. So it is... What's it look like?
It's purple. So it's next to the ammo.
See, don't take colours.
Oh, sorry. It's got 2 aircraft with the word disrupted on it.
So, and this goes on... Where does this go?
It just goes on the display as well, yeah. Yeah, in that line, just stick it on top of one of the others. Doesn't really matter.
Oh.
Yeah, just stack it on the end. Yeah, that'll do. That's fine. So, yeah. Also, your ammo low marker is now ammo depleted, so you need to flip it over. And I just check. I'm pretty sure I put an ammo low marker on mine as well, so that's fine. Good. So we sorted that. Because your other guy's an ammo low now as well, isn't he? So in your cohesion...
Did I do that? Yes. Got him.
Did you roll your cohesion for B? I don't think so. I think I haven't got quite...
the ammo low. So
you have the ammo low, so it's a -1. You were the attacking side, so a +1. And you are veteran, so another +1. So you're on +1 in your roll.
Okay, and that's 2d6 again.
Yeah. Oops, can't see that.
That's 1, 7.
7 is good. You're okay.
Right.
My bomber, no losses, was on attacking side, no ammo markers. Your ammo marker now becomes depleted on your side. I'm on the bomber table with no modifier. So you guys.
Both are now depleted. Both ammos are now depleted on those 2 squads. Yeah. Flip them. They're done. Right.
Yeah. Oh, I've just written. Actually, you took a loss, didn't you? You did.
Yes.
That is a -1. So your 7 was actually a 6 again. So you are disrupted. Oh, sorry, I missed it.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
Let me copy that. At least I've said right.
Both
there we go.
Okay, and my bomber is 2d6 no modifier. 7. 7 is nothing. No, I'm quite happy to go back to base. Right. Yeah. I just want to check our maths here that I didn't get it wrong on your roll. So you had a -1 for the loss, +1 because you're a veteran. You were attacking. So it's +2 for that with a -1. And what did you roll? You rolled a 6. And you had low ammo. So yes, that's right. It came out as a 6. So yeah,
right,
you are.
yeah.
I was. Yeah, we're right. You should be disrupted. Just so you, both of you, just got disrupted.
For commenting on that, yeah.
Yeah. Phew. Right. Yeah. Okay. So have we put them back in? We put them back in their hex. Have we?
Yeah, everything's done.
Everything's done. So we just get rid of those battle markers, and we're on to the next turn.
I can't fight anymore.
You can disrupt. You can fight as you're disrupting. You can't fight when you're broken. So you're going to have negatives. So you're not going to be as good at fighting, but you can.
Right.
You can still fight. Yeah, disrupting it doesn't do anything too nasty other than modifiers.
Right, and ammo depleted.
You are ammo depleted. So yeah. Your cohesion rolls will have -2 every time now.
Still fire them. Right.
You can still fire, but you get that -2. It's not out of ammo.
Right.
Your guy thinks you haven't got much ammo yet left, so there's no point in pushing it, and that's why the modifier's there.
Okay. Okey-dokey.
Hethwell wants the Republicans to win. Also do I. Well, I think winning is get off the board without losing too much, but I seem to have been able to disrupt you at least. That's something. But I must say that the shooting by the BF109B letter B has been abysmal. Was it 4 2s or 1 and 3 2s?
Yeah, he'll be rolled up against the powers to be. And,
absolutely. Okay. We're on to tally phase. So I don't believe you can change your tally inside a dogfight. So we're facing off against each other. You can't get away.
You wanted the dogfight, so I couldn't go after those blasted bombers.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So is B happy to still?
Yeah.
Try and shoot this bomber.
Third time
bomber squadron. Okay. So on my tallies, B will try and spot B. So 1, 2. However, with the modifiers, I'm green, so it's a -1. You are behind me, so it's a -2. And I think that's probably it. So I've got a -3 on the dice, and I need a 1 or a 2. So let's roll 1d6. A 1. Nope, definitely not. C will try and do the same thing. He needs a 3 with the -3 again. Oh, 6. -3 is a 3. Just. So C can spot B. Let's just get our tally marker in. C can spot B. Okay. And he is now alerted as well. Great. And I think that's it for tallying. So we're on to movement. Bombers will go first, and we'll start with Y. He'll move 2. X will move 2. You can now your B now moves.
He's going to come down behind me, isn't he?
Yes.
So, but I've got to move towards the tallied aircraft, yeah?
don't. It's not strictly. I think. It's. '97. Okay, no, you have what's known as free movement. So if you enter the square with the bomber, you will have to stop.
Yeah.
But you can move anywhere you like.
Well, I'm going to try. He's going to try and shoot something down before he gets shot down. So, or the squadron is. So, can I? I've got 3 movement points. Yeah.
Yes.
How much to climb?
It's 2 for you at this altitude, according to
And
your
I can't
data
climb
card.
after I've climbed, can I?
No. You wouldn't get out of the sun anyway because you wouldn't be there long enough. If you want to hit the bomber, go and hit the bomber. I don't see why you shouldn't hit the bomber, to be honest.
Yeah. So just stay, plop, bang. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I might out of the sun you, but I'm green anyway, so we'll see how we go. Oh, we forgot. Dogfight goes first. Forgot that. So with dogfights, look at our charts here. Dogfights. Dogfight movement. So, do you want to roll a dice?
What for?
To see what happens to the dogfight, where it moves to.
Oh, right. Where do we see that?
It's at the bottom of the notes next to the sequence of play. Dogfight movement.
Roll a die in the movement phase. Raider player moves the stack. Where do you move the stack to?
Wherever you want to.
Oh, right. Okay.
It just randomly happens to go where, which is advantageous to you rather than to me, or the other way around.
Right. So I threw a 5.
You roll a 5, so defender player moves the stack. You're the defender, so you get to move the stack. So you can kind of... The dogfight just happens to kind of follow the bombers a bit, I suspect, would be the thing to do. So you probably want to move to 06, I would have thought.
Yeah. Oh, I can... You mean
Everything moves.
You can't... Only one space?
One space, yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so that's the dogfight movement. Right. So back to where we were, the bombers. So Zed just... heading along, trying to get back to base. Unalerted fighters B. B just carries on. Oh no, he turns around as well, doesn't he? Yes, the turn after these guys turn around as well. So he will. What is it? And then, so that's 1. That's 2. And then everybody else is except for C has moved, so he is going to, well, I think it would have to be 1, 2, 3 with a dive marker. Okay. So that's the movement phase.
Right.
On to combat phase. So again, we've got 2 combats here. Abel and Baker. We'll do the dogfight second. So they'll make that Baker, because I'm the raider player. So we will do the combat with the bomber and the 2 fighters. Okay. So let's... where's our display? Let's try and... so the bomber is doing its thing. You are following it. And I'm diving on you.
Right.
Okay, and Abel's there. And with Baker, it's a dogfight. Okay. So, now, interesting. So you're actually attacking my bomber, but then I'm attacking you.
Yes.
All right. So let's make sure I go through the rules here correctly. But remember what happens here. So effectively, I get to choose which. Here we go. So I'm always the defender. Okay. Okay, yes, this is known as a chain of tallies.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning this at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Hethwell. If you've gone already, I'm sorry, missed your thing.
Oh,
Glad you
yeah,
enjoyed
cheers,
it.
Heath. Well, yeah, thanks. Thanks for the comments and everything.
Michael says there's a bit too much bookkeeping, but remember we're on Vassal. When you're playing this with the actual bits and pieces, I suspect that it's flows much quicker.
Yeah, you kind of get into a groove really with this. So again, we volunteered to do this earlier in the week. I haven't really. I just skimmed the rule book again from what I've done a little while ago. So appreciate with just. So I think I'm the defender, but I use my fighter as part of the combat rather than my bomber. Okay, so you have to fight my fighter, but I am the defender. Bit odd, but there you go. Okay, so on the air combat table, so I'm the defender, so you can choose whether it's a speed or a turn combat. Now,
Well,
my
I think
turn might be good for you, actually.
I'm going to say I'll let you manoeuvre around me. So turn as you're diving towards me. So is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So on the turn, we look at the values, and I think we're both 4.
Yeah.
Dive marker doesn't matter. No bomb load, because we're not talking about the bomber anymore. So it's 0 between us. You were a veteran, +1. You're disrupted, so it's -1. I'm green, so I'm -1. So I think you end up on a 4 and I end up on a 3. So it's +1, -1.
Right.
Okay. You're the attacker. You haven't bounced me because, well, you haven't. This guy doesn't. These guys don't have the ace, the experter. So I think it's just a straight roll for you. I think it's just a straight roll for me as well. Yes, +1, -1. So do you want to roll your 2d6?
All right. Here we go.
On the +1 table.
I'm +1, am I?
You're +1. I'm -1.
Right.
6, 7. 7 on +1 is 1 hit. My roll here with a -1. 7 goes to a 6 is nothing. So you got 1 hit on me. Okay.
So that.
So we go to the loss side. And yeah, so you...
That's the firepower. I keep forgetting. Firepower is 0. Yes. Am I looking
Yeah,
at your
I think I'm
protection?
not sure. I'm not quite sure I'm doing this right, but we'll carry on. Yeah, so my protection for my fighter is a 3 to 4, I think. Again, I'm a bit tougher than you. My fighters are a bit chunky.
Yeah, they look a big sort of chunks of metal, don't they?
Yeah. So it's a straight roll, and you need a 5 or 6 to get a loss, or 3 to 4 for a straggler.
5.
Ooh, knocked one out. Okay. So my display. So this was C. He takes a loss. And yeah, that's that. You don't take anything, so we do our cohesion. So I was defender. I've taken a loss mark, and I'm green, so I'm -2. I will put my low marker in just for completeness sake. It doesn't count yet. So I'm on -2.
All right.
A 7 is a 5. I am disrupted. Okay, over to you.
So I've got total loss markers is 1.
1. You are veteran.
So that cancels that out. So
Yeah. You were attacking, so +1.
right.
You have depleted ammo.
-2.
Yeah.
So that's -1.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
-1 with 2 dice. 9 -1 is 8.
You're okay.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Well,
yeah,
that didn't work. And now I think we could get to decide about Dogfight.
Where do I attack the? I don't attack the bomb.
No. So yeah. So my fighter got in the way. So
yeah.
You ended up fighting the fighter rather than fighting the bomber.
So dogfight.
So we decide whether there's going to be a dogfight. So I want there to be a dogfight. Do you want to be there to be a dogfight? No, you don't. Okay. So our speed values. Now this is where my dive does come in. So I have a +1. You have a 0. So I'm +5 and you're +4 because our speeds. So I get a D6 +5.
Why have you?
It's the basic speed value with the basic modifiers, which are bomb, load, diving, or climbing.
Even though that was last turn, you're still diving.
It's still this turn. It's just the result of my dive didn't help because I was defending the bomber, but the fact that I had the energy from the dive meant that I had more chance of forcing the dogfight. You see what I mean?
Oh, sorry, I'm completely confused. We're looking at Able, aren't we? Still,
we are still looking at Able. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So I rolled a 4 +5 is 9, and you've got +4.
+4, 9
is 9. So that's equal. So I think I succeed with a dogfight. If they are equal to or greater than those refusing, there is a dogfight. So we've got another dogfight here, which is great for me. Which means my bombers might be able to get off the board. Okay, so we put everybody back. I'll get rid of the dive marker. I think you automatically tally me now.
Right, hang on.
If you're attacked by me, or well, if we're in combat, the tally will switch.
What have I done with that?
And,
oh, you've done it.
Yeah, I've done it.
Lovely.
Map. Dogfight. Okay. So that's able to. Baker. So dogfights.
Oh, I'll just move that one, haven't I? It's going to be there, wasn't it?
Okay, so this must be a turn combat. Though I don't think that really changes very much. I think we're both 4 anyway.
What do you mean?
So we can't use speed.
Right.
So when you make that decision, it has to be turn now because we're in a dogfight. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's no diving or climbing effects or anything like that. To be honest, I don't think it's going to make any difference. I think we're both 4s anyway on this. So yeah. Let's get the chart up. Wrong one. So no bomb light, no dive or climb. You're veteran. You are disrupted.
So that cancels that out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm disrupted, and I'm not veteran, so I've got a -1. So I've got a turn of 3. Who's the defender? We have to roll to see who is the attacker.
Okay.
D6 each. Do you want to roll yours?
Yep, got it. 2.
2. I've rolled a 2. Okay, we roll again. Very cinematic.
Come on.
Hey, Vassal, what's going on? Go on, one more time. 5. 1. Okay, so you're the attacker.
Right.
Okay, so I'm defending using a rigid doctrine, so I've got another -1. So I'm a turn of 2, you're on a turn of 4. So it's a +2 -2.
Right.
Okay, you have an expert.
So it's +1 on my roll.
So it's +1 on your roll. I don't get anything. So you are +2 +1. I'm -2. No modifier. Do you want to roll first? 2d6. Ooh, that's a bit rubbish. That's a 5. That's a 7. Right, that's 1 hit.
Right, 1 hit.
I'm on a -2, no modifier. Oh, that's just as bad. Nothing. So I hit nothing. So you hit me 1. Hit me for 1.
Yeah.
Let's go for the loss. So I'm on a 3 to 4. You have an expert. You have a +1. You got 1 roll on the d6.
2.
2 + 1 is a 3. 3 is a straggler. Okay. Oops.
As you say, that's half a loss, if you like.
Yeah. So on the cohesion table, this is going to be very relevant now, I think. So I have no losses. I'm not green. I wasn't the attacker. I have a low ammo marker. I'm just going to flip it over so I don't forget. So I have a -1 on the dice. Yeah, -1 on the dice, 2d6. So 6 going to a 5. A 5 is a 1 result, which means my disruption turns into a broken. So I'm now broken. So this will break the dogfight because I'll bolt for home.
Okay.
Now for you, you have 1 loss, I think.
It's Abel, isn't it? So
No, it's Baker. It's B. It's B. Oh no, it's A. A is your fighter. Sorry, yes, you're quite right. Yeah.
Yes, squadron. So yeah. I've got a loss marker. So that's -1.
Yeah. Your
squadron
veteran
is veteran, so that cancelled that out.
Yeah.
I'm the attacker.
Yes, +1.
What's the Loughbury?
Loughbury is where you go in a circle. It's a kind of old-fashioned maneuver kind of thing. Don't worry about it for now.
Okay. Squadron is marked with depleted, so that's a -2. So I'm -1.
You're on a -1.
That's it, isn't it?
Yep.
-1?
Yeah, that's it. So
disrupted, is disruption taken into account?
No, it isn't. It's just that the fact that you are disrupted, which means if you get a 1 result, you will be broken.
Right, getcha. Okay, so it's 2d6 with 2d6. A -1.
-1, yeah.
11
Whoa.
-1. Lovely.
Eat it for breakfast. So
lovely.
Okay, so I'm broken. Let's just get rid of the charts here. Let's put everybody. Let's put everybody back. So this is no longer a dogfight because I've broken.
Wow.
I don't have a tally on you because I don't tally anybody anymore. That tally marker is no more. So where are we? Get our. So you're there. I'm there. You are still tallying me, but I'm not tallying you. No. You don't tally yourself.
Oh, sorry. It goes on. Let me do it.
Goes on me.
Yeah.
So you can still see me.
Yeah.
But I don't tally at all. So
Right. Just
I'll delete. I'll just delete it. Delete. Thank you. Right.
there we go.
Okay, and the battle marker goes away. Okay. So that's combat. Admin shouldn't be anything to do for admin, so it's next turn. Tallying. So you're free. You can. I'm going home, so you may not want to bother tallying me anymore.
No, I'll go after one of these. I'll go after Z, I think.
Going off to Z. Okay, so that's 1. You need to roll a 1 or more. I think you'll be. I think you can just roll that. I think you. Yeah, that'll do. You're veteran as well, and all this kind of stuff. You'll be all right. It's part of a 3. It's part of a formation as well. You've got like +3 or something on it. So yeah. So you tallied that. B's in a dogfight, so he can't tally, do any tallying. Neither can my A. My B. Actually, my B should have tried to go first. Actually, so my B will actually try and tally your A. So it's a 1.
I'll move that off from. I'm going to move that off for a minute. Yeah.
I'm green.
So B is trying to tally you.
Yeah, tally your A, and he needs a 1 or more, and he's got a -1 on the dice. That's all. So he's happens to be very close. 2 -1 is 1. It's good enough. So yeah, he still does it. So B gets to tally you. So you're not free. Still not free.
No.
Now you may want to change your tally. Sorry,
Yeah.
I had to go first. So
that's what I'm thinking about. Do I just go? What the heck? No. Yeah, I'll try and tally you then. The B.
B. Okay. Okay. So that's 1. Let's check the charts. I think it's almost automatic.
Because we're so near.
Yeah, you were a veteran. Yeah, disruption doesn't matter. So you got a +1 anyway. So yeah, you can just tally. It's fine.
Well, I'll throw it. There we go. Yeah. So, and what am I talking? Yes, tally.
Put the tally marker on my B. That's it. Okay, so movement phase. Dogfight goes first. We roll off to see who decides. Do you want to roll a D6?
2.
I get to move it. So
Right.
I'm going to move it. Oh, come on. Sorry, my mouse is getting a bit jittery.
So you'd want to move it away from the bombers, yeah?
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh. Got a bit of my base stuck in the bottom of my mouse. That's not a complaint you hear often. So
No.
we'll move to there, I think.
Take it to there.
Actually, no, I think we'll take it to there. So I won't give you any height advantage either. Okay, so that dogfight maneuver is done. Then it's bombers. So these guys just do their 2. try and get away.
Yeah.
Then my unalerted fighter. So, oops, no. Skedaddles for home. Oh, no, he doesn't actually. He doesn't go that way. He goes the other way.
I was going to say that's
yeah,
to the bombing.
Yeah. That's, there, he goes.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, because he is alerted. He's out of there. Usually what I do as an aide-de-memoire is put a broken marker on him so everybody knows
He's going home. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This vassal module doesn't like me putting a broken marker on top, so we'll put it next to it. Okay, so then it alerted fighters on initiative order. You're below me, so you move first. So what you could do, you could actually climb into my square, which means I can't move.
So we just move up as is, sort of thing.
Yeah, so you go vertical and you go up, and it'll cost you 2. You do get a climb marker, which isn't great, but at least that stops me trying to do anything nasty.
So we're like that, yes?
Yeah. Magnus from Sweden's in. Excellent. Hello, mate. Glad you could join us. Yes, we've got a nationalist Republican set of dogfights going on here. I-16s versus BF-109Bs. Legion Condor Legion fighters trying to pick off my bombers, but not really succeeding very much, to be honest. No, shooting a lot of blanks actually. Okay, so that's our movement phase done. Which means we're on to the combat phase. And the combat phase, we have the dogfight. And where did Abel go? Oh. There we go.
Looking for
Abel battle. So we'll do this one first.
all right.
And then Baker here. So that's a dogfight, so we don't care with the orientation. Abel, so you're... Oops. So I think you moved into my space, so you're the attacker. However, you do have a climb marker. Where is it?
Which is a -1 speed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you're the attacker. You get to decide. Is it going to be speed or turn? Probably turn.
Turn.
Yeah, because you don't want to you don't want your climb to lower your speed, do you?
Oh, I see. Yes. So that will stay at 4, won't it? Yep.
Yeah.
So turn. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do it turn. So we're 4 each. You're veteran. I'm green. So you end up being a 5. I end up being a 3. You are disrupted though, so you go back to a 4. I'm using rigid doctrine, so I end up with a 2. So it's 4 to 2. So you're +2. I'm -2. Do these guys have the expert? I think they do.
Let's have a look.
A
has the expert. Yes.
So you get a +1 for that. I don't think I get anything. No. So you got +2 +1. I've got -2. No modifier.
+2 +1. Here we go. 5,
5 on
6.
+6 is just a hit.
Oh, 1.
You got 1 hit there. -2 with no modifier. And 8 is just 1 hit.
Yep.
Okay, so losses. Your losses. So I'm a firepower 0. So I was straight roll, and you've got a protection of 3. So I need a 4, 5, or 6 to shoot one of you down. Oh. And I get 1. So you have another loss.
Hold on.
109s are a bit more flimsy than Ishaks and SBs.
Put that there. There we go. Yeah.
And for you, let's just organise this. Sorry, a second. And for you, you have a +1 for your ace, but it's a 3 to 4 protection, so you need a 5 or a 6 to cause a loss. 4 +1? No, you got +1 for your ace.
+1.
Yeah, so you cause a loss. That's on B. I'll put my low ammo on there. Although I won't count it yet. And we do our cohesion. Cohesion, I'll do mine first. I've got a loss marker. I'm a green, so that's -2. I wasn't the attacker, so I'm on a -2. 2d6. Oh, terrible. I've broken. Absolutely broken immediately. Yeah, okay. He's not happy anymore. I'll claim that. Remember to put that. So we're on able, weren't we? So got a broken marker there just to mark it. So that's done. So for you, you have 2 losses, but you are a veteran. So you're on a -1 for that. You're attacking, so that's a 0, but you have depleted ammo. So you're on a -2. So you're not much better off. Let's see how you go with a -2, 2d6. Oh,
2.
Nope. No, you've gone as well. No, that's broken you. So you flip your disrupted marker over to broken. And you...
there we go.
And you're going home.
That's A, right.
Yeah. So we're both going home. And you're coming back. There are no tallies anymore. Just delete those.
No.
You can't tally anything anymore. You were climbing, but it doesn't matter anymore. So you're broken as well. So good news for me. Good news for me. Got one of you. This is equivalent. This is kind of the wing leader idea of it's like the victory over a counter is to get it to break, because all it can do is just bugger off home. Can't do anything else. Right. So on the dogfight here, so we have to dice to see who's the attacker. So
D6.
Yeah, D6. I roll 3. You roll 6. You're the attacker. All right. So my C versus your B. My C is not in a great way, is he? No. Right. So, is it a speed? No, it has to be turn because it's a dogfight. Yeah. So, there is no basic modifiers. You're a veteran, and I'm green. So you're a 5. I'm a 3. I'm disrupted, so I'm a 2. You're disrupted though as well. So you're a 4. Yeah. I'm defending on rigid doctrine, so I'm a 1. And you're a 4. Yeah. So it's a +3 -3.
Okay.
And you're the attacker. You don't have an expert. No. I don't think there's any modifiers. Yeah, no, there's no modifiers at all. So it's just straight rolls, +3 and -3 on the chart.
Right, here we go.
I'll just show the chart for everybody.
Oh dear. 1.
So yeah, +3 is 6 is 1 on my -3, and 8 is nothing.
Pink.
So 1 hit on me. So switching across to loss. I'm on a 3 or 4. There's no modifiers. So yeah, 5 or 6 for a loss. 1 dice.
1 dice, yeah.
Yeah. You can see how this rhythm comes. So 4 is a straggler. So on C, let's get him back. C has no straggler, so he inherits a straggler. Too many windows. So it's a bit busy for everybody here.
Yeah.
Straggler fighter. So this is C, is it? Okay. Cohesion.
Oh, hold on. Magnus saying it's only from the side. Yes, it is.
Yeah. You only see it from the side. Yeah, it's indeed at the bottom. That's actually the ground, and it's just altitude going up from there. Yeah, that's correct. So, my cohesion. I have 1 loss. I am green, -2. Wasn't attacking. I had a low ammo. I'll just flip it to reminder. So -3. I have a -3. That's not good. 2d6 on the cohesion table. A 7 doesn't sound good. No, that will be a disrupt at least, which will break me. So my other guy's broken as well.
All right.
Okay, over to you.
So, total.
This is B, isn't it? So B has 1 loss. Yeah.
1, but I've got a veteran.
You are a veteran, so cancels out. You're attacking. So it's
+1.
Depleted.
Hold on, we got low ammo.
Depleted ammo.
So that's a -1 again.
Yes. So you're on a -1.
2d6.
Yeah.
4. That's no good.
That's no good. Yeah, that'll break you.
Yeah.
That'll break you. Which is pretty much the end of the game.
Yeah, I was going to say we're all just going home now, aren't we?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we can just count up now because that's it. What effectively will happen is that the two ME-109s are going home. My fighters are all going home. The bombers are all going home, so we'll all go home. Nobody can actually fight anybody else. So that's pretty much the end of the game. So we total up points now for victory.
Right.
For each aircraft loss, you get a certain amount of victory points depending on what they were, how valuable they were. I think everybody's 1 victory point here. So the 109s are worth 1 VP. It's in the top corner here. For the Ishaks, they're 1 VP as well. The SB bombers are 2 VP. Okay, so for each bomber it's 2. Everybody else is 1. Okay. So, and pretty much that's all the victory points there is. So if we look at our wing displays here. So, stragglers get home. They're not losses.
Oh, right. You don't count them as VP.
So I lost 1 bomber, which was on Z. So that's 2 VPs. I lost 2 Ishaks, 1 on B and 1 on C, I-16s. So that's 4 VP.
Yeah.
That you've got. You lost 3 109s, I think. 2 from A and 1 from B.
Looks right.
Okay, so it means that it's +1 VP to you.
I win by a victory point.
No. So, looking at the scenario, the victory conditions, subtract the Republican VPs from the National VPs to see who wins. So that means +1 VP, yeah? +3 or less is a Republican victory. So I actually won. A draw is 4 to 6.
Blimey.
Okay.
Right.
Now, I mean, I'm quite happy to call it a draw, actually, because there is one thing I purposely missed out as a rule here, is that in this scenario, your squadrons have what's known as tactical flexibility. What that means is you can split your squadrons into flights, so you can replace one squadron with 2 flights. However, I didn't want to complicate things and make it too big, so I didn't tell you about that. So we'll call it a draw because the difference between a flight and a squadron is flights, they get negative modifiers. It's like they're disrupted squadrons, although they don't break as soon as they disrupt, but they just have some negative modifiers because they're flights and not squadrons. So it's tactical flexibility is very powerful in the game, is that you can basically double your counters by doing that. But I wanted to keep it a bit simple here, so we'll call it a draw. Don't worry. But I wanted to particularly keep it a little bit snug, for everybody to see. So yeah, that's Wing Leader Origins there. So what do you think, Ruff?
I think it's quite fun. What's it like solo though?
Well, as you can imagine,
you're playing both, yeah.
Yeah, you're playing both, but there's no cards involved. You kind of know which way things are going to go, and the initiative is kind of fixed. So the anticipation is in the movement, but the movement order is very established. So it's not like, so you know who's going to move before who, because of the job they do or the altitude they're at. So I don't have a problem soloing this. I mean, I've done a couple of playthroughs. I think I've done a couple of playthroughs on my channel solo, and I don't have a problem with it at all, because the decision making is immediate. Yeah. Yeah. You kind of have to react to the situation that you are immediately presented with in the initiative order. So, and a lot of things like the bombers, you're kind of on rails. You're kind of fixed. I mean, these guys were on rails in a particular way, but even with bombing, you have a target that's on the board. It's on the ground, and you kind of have to head to it, head and do your bombing in the type of bombing you're going to be doing, if it's a level bombing or dive bombing, etc. So bombers are very much on rails in this game. So it's only really the fighters that you have a huge amount of initiative of, and I think there's this immediate, the decision making is immediate, rather than you having to plan that. You can kind of plan the turn, but you know you get this kind of fur ball of aircraft sort of, you know, circling each other and diving in on each other and coming out and diving in again and stuff like that. So I don't find it difficult at all on solo at all.
And the bombers are just going to bomb, and the fighters of the other side are trying to stop the bombers, and the fighters trying to stop the fighters getting to the bombers.
It's very easy to do whatever you need to do with a particular squadron or flight. In the best, I mean, it's easy to switch sides and think, okay, what is this guy now going to do? Because he has to move now, and it's only him, and so the sort of schizophrenia doesn't really, the multiple personality thing is very, very straightforward in this game. I think.
like it happened here. I was targeting or tallying a bomber. Oh, you better try and tally me.
Yes.
So you can draw me away from the bomber, and that's you don't have that's what you would do, isn't it? So
yeah, I mean, you had some choices here whether you went for bombers or you switched to try and defend yourself from the fighters and get rid of them, so you could then get on with the bombers. It's just that you couldn't. The pesky fighters just got, made sure that you couldn't do that you broke before you, because now all my fighters had broken. You've got free reign at my bombers until they get off the board, because they can't escape, they can't roll to escape. So you just didn't get to the point where it was going to be, well, certain reasonably easy pickings for you, and that was that. So but I think the I wouldn't say the decision making is simple, but the individual decisions are fairly simple, I think, during a turn.
I mean, it's pretty obvious what you've got to do. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
think
it's
so.
how you implement it, and moving and trying to get out coming out of the sun,
Mm.
and that sort of thing is always to your advantage. So you'll always try and do that if you can.
I must
Or
admit, I haven't done a really big scenario of this. There are some of the scenarios. There's like hundreds of scenarios here. There's like 50. I've got probably about 50 scenarios. Some
really
of them are really big, and there's a few campaign games as well. So there's a Malta campaign game. There's a Rabaul
Pacific,
campaign
yeah,
game in the Pacific, and there is a. Is there an Eastern Front one? Can't remember. I think there might be an Eastern Front one as well.
well,
So you've got campaigns where you've got a certain amount of aircraft and you can recycle them and stuff like that. Malta, there's a Malta one. Yeah, there's a Malta one. Yeah. I haven't tried one of the big ones or the campaigns. I don't know if anybody in the chat has done that. Played any of the big ones or the campaign. Let us know
yeah.
how it went and how you felt about it, especially solo as well. But no, I do like the game. I don't know if Jester is still
Yeah.
watching, whether we've done a conversion job on him. I don't know.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Um,
His only gripe with the game wasn't the fact the game; it was the incorrect stuff that he got sent, and then the
yes.
updated stuff wasn't the same thickness, or you had to buy it again. So I don't.
Yeah, there was an odd production issue, or a
Yeah,
couple of production issues, certainly. But
I agree that if they're printing something wrong, why do you have to buy an upgrade kit to make it correct if it was wrong in the first place? So I
yeah,
see his. Um, Whereas other companies like GMT will just send you the upgraded counters or whatever.
well, this is GMT, so yeah, they're kind of stepping out of their norm, really.
Surprised why they did that. Of course, it's GMT. Of course, it is. I forgot.
Yeah.
Surprised why they did a separate upgrade kit that you had to pay 20 odd quid for to make your game standard with others that have bought the upgrade kit. I don't know.
Yeah. I can't quite remember all the circumstances on that, but
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a bit of a wobbly moment there.
Yeah.
Certainly. But the game itself, I think there's a lot of value here.
The game itself is fun. Yeah,
It's
I enjoyed that.
And they start you close together. It's not like you kind of have to, come on the board and sort of, just avoid each other and try and get an advantage. You're like, here you go, get on with it. Bang.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Another game that if I don't get, at least I know if I come across it at a reasonable price, I go, yeah, I remember that. Yes.
Well, I think isn't Supremacy, the reprint of Supremacy, happening soon on the P500, which is the late war.
Core game, you don't need anything else. The expansions, you have to have the core game, don't you?
Yeah. So there's 2 core games. And
Yeah.
it depends on which core game you have, which expansion. So Origins, you have to have Victories, which is the early war. For Blitz, you need Victories. It's early war. For Eagles, it's Supremacy. It's late war. So you can't mix your base games with your expansion. You have to be a bit careful.
But if you buy both core games, you can buy
yeah.
whatever you like.
Absolutely, yeah. I've got the whole set except for Blitz. I don't have Blitz. I think I missed that out on the P500 when it first came out.
Oh.
But I think I've got the rest. But yeah, then you've got like a full set and you can do what you like. The Legends, which is coming out, there's another expansion, which is again a Victories one, I think.
Right.
Although I'm not sure. I'll have to check. I think it's another Victories one. Is just coming out on... Well, I think it's beyond the P500, isn't it? I think they're about to ship it. So, but yeah, that looks like fun as well. Look, you get more planes, more scenarios. Probably another campaign game as well, I think, out of it. So you do get stuff in the box from the expansions. There's stuff there.
Thank you, Michael. Michael's just saying thanks for the
Cheers,
stream.
Michael. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. What will be next? I don't know.
Oh, what will be next? Yeah.
We've got low tactical to do with the man who wrote the rules, Stefan.
Yeah. That's something you're organising, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, you're not. I'm like organising.
Yeah, and that's going to be
Yeah,
on your channel anyway, rather than mine. So
yeah.
you'll have to turn the knob on the internet TV and
Oh,
the YouTubey TV and
you'll have,
switch to the
well,
rough Swordsman Wargamer channel to see that.
you'll have to do me a walkthrough, a sort of teaching session how to blooming do it. So how to stream.
Yeah, so I
Um,
think if you've got a StreamYard account, you can do it. It's fairly straightforward because you're just sharing screens. It's a bit like it's just like a sort of organised Discord, and it'll just automatically stream it to your channel. The only thing you do if you don't pay for it though, you don't get 1080p.
yeah.
You only get 720p. So you compromise on the on the quality of the video, but it's very much easier to do.
The other thing, of course, with the chap that designed this, and you've got it, we have talked briefly about it, and one day we might have to do it, is Bomber Command.
Oh yeah. Bomber Command's quite fun. It's very. It has some. It's a great game, but it has some issues on sequencing. In that the British side, all your work is at the start, and then you're kind of following your plan for the rest of the scenario, the rest of the game. Whereas it's all onto the German player for his night fighters and his all these kind of things. So it's. I'm not sure about the sequencing, how much fun it is for each player. Is that the German player sort of hanging around at the start of the game, while the British player sets his plan up, and then it's opposite throughout the game. There's some cards, so there's some variables and things like that in there, but I'm still a little worried about the sequencing.
Okay. Or well, we'll have to see. I don't know.
Have to see,
yeah. People want to do, GBOH or something. Or you've got GBOH.
Have I got what? Sorry.
GBOH, Great Battles of History.
Oh yeah. Well, I've got SPQR.
Oh, hi.
I'm not sure everybody wants to just listen to us rattle off games at each other and go, yeah, it might be next. Oh, yeah, I think I might like that.
Yeah, tell you what, we'll keep suspenders. How about that? Then?
We'll do what, sorry?
We'll keep them in suspenders, all the viewers. Keep them in suspense.
Okay.
So,
I don't want to view them in suspenders, frankly. But yeah. Yeah, Marcus, you've got Bomber Command. Never played it. I think, with the exception of the cards, which is not a massive part of the game, it's very soloable because of this kind of asymmetric role that each player in.
There is a solo module that somebody designed, a French chap on BGG. I've got it. And it's quite an in-depth bot, if you like. So I'll have a look at that, Magnus. See what you think.
Yeah. The other very soloable, because there's some extra rules in, is GMT's Night Fighter. That's a very clever game, but as written, you need to have a GM, somebody to referee. So it's a solo plus one. You play it as a solo game, but there's somebody managing you. But there are rules written by somebody, which allows you to do it. Somebody from King's College London, I understand, which allows you to play it solo, and it's quite cool, that one as well. It's quite cool. Quite a good game. Michael's going to keep his suspenders on. Well, yeah,
it's an old London silly thing that people say. I'm going to keep you in suspenders, meaning I'm going to keep you in suspense. It's just a silly play on words.
Yes.
I don't actually want to put anybody in suspenders that I haven't met and taken out to dinner.
Unless they want to be in suspenders. But I think this conversation is going in the bad direction.
Yeah, it's a silly play on words.
Yes. It's getting a little late here, so I think we're starting to get a little silly here. Right, I think I'll let everybody go. Thanks for watching through. Hopefully it's been useful. If you didn't know Wing Leader, maybe you know a little bit about it now, and see how things work. There's lots more to it. This was a very basic scenario, and I did that on purpose, and I also kind of made it even narrower, just so that it would fit in the night and Ruff
Yeah.
would be able to
Cope
handle
with
it.
it.
Cope with it, yes. So anyway, hope it's been useful for you. Thanks again to Ruff, Swordsman, Wargamer,
All right.
to
Thank you for taking the time. Appreciate it.
and I think we should be on Tuesday next for our continuing game of Elusive Victory, another air game. Jet fighters this time, jet aircraft this time, Arab Israeli. So hopefully you'll join me then. Look out for the advertising. But until then, I'll say good night. Ruff, over to you for your last
Thank
word.
you. Yeah. Just to say thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see some more nonsense every Saturday, if you don't know, we have a live
Oh yeah,
stream called The War Room on ID Jester's channel. But if you're subscribed to me, I normally put up a little note to remind people on the old community tab on YouTube. So that's what we've got coming up next.
and I'm usually in the chat throwing virtual squash tomatoes most of the time as well.
Oh, very fizzy, yeah.
Right then, and thanks again, everybody. So we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you.